It's time to check your money with America's money maven, Vicki Brackens. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. Vicki, Mayday, Mayday. Well, it's May now. How you doing?
It is May now, and George, that means that we are, I hope I am saying and speaking the truth, we are done with winter. I hope we are done. I believe we are done with winter.
Okay, so you are clearly not remembering who you are, where you are. You know the famous "It has snowed on Mother's Day." You know that's right.
Right. Okay, but I'm going to keep my fingers and toes crossed that we're not going to have to relive that this time.
We're done with it. We're done.
Okay. But before I get started, let me remind everybody, subscribe and share this video and this webcast and this shorts and all the things that are part of our segments.
Podcast, you forgot that.
Podcast, all of the things, because we want to make sure that everyone has the information that's necessary to make sound financial decisions. So, George, last week when the Friendly Neighborhood Advisor was here, I made a little comment that we were going to pick up a particular subject this week.
You mean Michael Jennings? Because of the fact that guy?
Yeah, because Michael Jennings, okay, but also because of the fact that the president, Joe Biden, had announced that he and the vice president, Kamala Harris, were actually going to run for re-election. And one of the platform conversations was around the loss of Social Security. Now I want to go back a second week and remember what the Friendly Neighborhood Advisor talked to us about as far as financial anxiety. You remember that question that he had?
Yeah.
A lot of people have financial anxiety, especially in his age category.
Mm-hmm.
And his age category being in the mid-20s, early 30s, not our age category. So here's my wraparound to that conversation, because I was very surprised. I did a seminar for a group of, believe it or not, not securities as far as stocks and bonds, but cybersecurity professionals,
yes,
who are also in that mid-age category, and they have a lot of anxiety around all of the things that they're hearing and have been hearing most of their lives concerning Social Security and the fact that possibly Social Security would not exist. So you'd be really surprised. I'm really surprised that I'm hearing it on the 65, 70-year-old end of the spectrum and on the 20 to 25, 30-year-old spectrum. So I decided this would be a good time to have some conversations around Social Security. And the first thing I want to remind everybody, in fact, we did a segment about this about a year ago, and I said, the sky is not falling, Henny Penny.
Yeah.
Remember that?
That's
right.
The
sky is not falling.
Right.
And here's why I'm saying the sky is not falling as it relates to Social Security. What impact any changes will have with Social Security are dependent upon where you are in your life cycle at the time of change. But even more so, most people forget that Social Security, which was enacted back in 1935, almost every year since the beginning of Social Security, there have been amendments to the original law. Did you realize that, George? Almost every year. Some are more impactful than others. Some are more publicized than others, but almost every year since that point, there have been changes to the amendment that created Social Security back in 1935. So I wanted to tell everybody, first of all, let's breathe. Stop and think about what the impact may be to me. So if you remember, we talked about the fact that when you're going into retirement, that it's important to have at least 3 legs on the stool. Remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I think also I may have added even a 4th leg throughout the years. So the leg of the stool that is part of Social Security, or that you have designated as Social Security, may be impacted, but what does it mean to you? So let's go back and look at some history. 35, the act was actually implemented. In 39, they added a provision for the wife. Before, the wife wasn't independent children.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then we came into 1950. I'm skipping some big years, okay, but some of the big things. Mm-hmm. We went to dependent widows
Mm-hmm.
who were over 65. Okay. And then in 56, they added disability as far as the disability provisions. In 61, they authorized retirement benefits to be dropped and have the early retirement benefit versus the 65 only. So they started adding 62, between 62 and 64. And then in 65, we had also the addition of Medicare, the Great Society. Okay?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then 72, we had the delayed retirement benefits, so that if you waited to your maximum age and continue to delay, you get all of these bonus payments. Then 83, we had the amendments concerning in some of the first bumps that took place as far as moving the age out. My point is this: there have been constant changes in Social Security. Each time, the adjustments necessary to, or how they would impact you, had to be dependent upon where you were at the time that they were made. So let's look at some time critical things. If you're getting ready to retire tomorrow, and they said, you know what, we thought for sure you were going to receive Social Security at age 66, but you're going to have to wait until 67. That's a great impact because your timeline is so short. So what should you do? Immediately look at your expenses. Immediately make a decision whether or not I need to wait. Immediately seek help. But if that is 10 years away, you have time for adjustments. Let's say you're 25 years old, that's what why I was really surprised when I heard so much angst around and anxiety around 25-year-olds. There are going to be a lot of changes relative to Social Security throughout your lifetime. So what you should do is make sure that you maintain good savings principles and retirement planning principles and investment principles throughout your working career, and make adjustments as far as your predictions or your projections each time there is a change, so that you're working with someone who has the ability to help you plan throughout the changes over your lifetime. But don't freak out right now about any changes that are being contemplated, because those changes are going to continue forever. So let me give you the doomsday scenario, George. Here's a doomsday scenario. We're going to get rid of Social Security in total.
Okay.
Total. Okay. Hear me. I did not say that's going to happen. That's a scenario that's in the wind with some folks. If that happened, what do you think you should do? What would you do, George? If all of a sudden tomorrow the federal government came online and just said, we're done. We're not going to provide Social Security payments at all. What should you do?
Yeah. What should you do, Vicki? That's a good question.
Okay, I want to say it again, loud and clear. This is not Vicki's prediction. I do not believe there's any way in the world that that's going to happen, but we're playing a game here. What would you do? Stop, reassess everything that's happening in your own personal planning. Look at the adjustments that need to be made. Work with a professional to fill in those changes, and look at the result, the impact, and then move forward. First of all, I can't say it's not going to. I do not predict at all that that's going to happen, because we've gone through from 1935 to 2003 with an institution that has been in place and adjusted every year to make sure that we can get the best benefit out of it going forward. So please, everybody settle down, breathe, work with your local officials. If you have comments concerning some of the adjustments that may be on the table, or adjustments that may be more beneficial for you or your constituents, but don't start running around like Henny Penny that the sky is falling. It's a trap. It's absolutely a trap, because it will put you in freeze frame, and you won't do the things necessary to control your own financial well-being in the future. Okay, I'm gonna breathe, George.
I know
Every
that's right.
once in a while, something gets me so riled up. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Man, yeah.
Okay, oh my goodness, because
Take a
I
breath,
feel
is
the
what you're
frenzy.
saying. Take a breath is what you're
Okay.
saying.
Okay. Take a breath. Right. All right, then. Want to encourage everybody, okay, to continue to subscribe and share. If you have questions, feel free to give me a call at area code 315-930-4499. Reach out to us at info@brackensfsn.com. And and get ready. One of our next segments, if not the next one, the one following that, we are going to spend time talking about family reunions.
Ooh,
You know what I'd like to talk about in family reunions?
what?
We have family reunions in most cases, in some cases every year, but usually every other year. We come together and hug each other and love each other. But what are we doing to create generational wealth while we are together?
Yeah, I know a family that does it.
Good. Okay. I want you to talk about that example. Okay. But what are you doing while you have your families all together to create generational wealth? Not just talk about it, but to do it. What are you doing to create generational wealth when you are together with your family reunions? We have some suggestions for you. So stay tuned when we have our conversation around family reunions. George, at this point in time, I'll say our plate is definitely full.
All right. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. She is America's Money Maven.